She's come a long, long way since ring announcing an NXT show at the Haverdell Fence Center in Fort Pierce, Florida. Now she is the queen of the WWE Mountain, a 14-time world champion and current WWE SmackDown Women's Champ. Ready for Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania Hollywood, April 1st and 2nd. No fooling around with this one. You couldn't write a better script for the woman from the Queen City. She actually wrote it herself, lived it, earned it herself. Thank you, Queen Champ, Charlotte Flair.
Wow, that was an incredible intro. Thank you.
Hey, Charlotte, so what's this? We're going to get to WrestleMania and all, but what's this? Are you taking over the Daytona 500 now, too? Are you taking over NASCAR and all the racing as well?
Well, I guess it feels like a natural fit since I am from North Carolina. No, but both those opportunities just came up and I happened to be available and it was a lot of fun. So from the Coca-Cola to Daytona. Yeah.
Well, this is so interesting because your early days with NXT and just going back to when you first started, what has been this journey like for you? Just, I mean, you've accomplished so much, so many firsts as well.
I just hope I've really taken the time to stop and smell the flowers. Like the ride goes so fast and you don't realize it. Like it's about to be my 8th year on the main roster, and that's crazy to think. So I just really hope I've enjoyed the journey, and because that's what it's all about, is enjoying it. So yeah, it's sometimes crazy to think that I have done all these things because it just feels like it's gone by so fast.
It's so amazing when you're involved, like you said, when you're involved in it. It's just because WWE is so fast moving anyway, week to week to week to week. And geez, so many community events as well that you're involved in and part of, and just so treating fans so well, all of you. It's just amazing. But it's just so curious because those early days of training, I remember back then that even Triple H would say, you watch her because she'll not only outwork the women, she'll outwork the guys as well. You were just so, and still are so competitive. Where do you think you got that competitive drive?
Well, I think that's fitting, especially being International Women's Day, because that's what I'm all about. It's gender doesn't matter. Not only do I want to be recognized as one of the greatest of all time, no matter male or female, but I hope I empower women around the world in any industry, no matter what they're doing, that they can be on top and have it all as a woman. And I hope that's what I stand for. I hope that, being opinionated doesn't mean I have an attitude. It means I have standards. I hope that women know their worth in any industry, just how capable we are, whether being a mother or not being a mother, but being, so many different things, a wife, a sister, a daughter, a friend. Just, I hope I inspire women around the world to go after what they want. And it's okay to be good. It's okay to be that good.
Inspiring others. That's just unbelievable in what you've been able to do, because you think about headlining WrestleMania, a first. Also, you've headlined Raw and SmackDown shows. It's just incredible. And there's so many firsts that you've been a part of. How difficult, how challenging, maybe that's a better word. How challenging was it to be able to get to a level to do that and say, hey, we could do this and fans are interested?
Well, let's put this into perspective. My dad being who he is and what he means to the industry and pop culture and crossing over, he never headlined WrestleMania, ever. And I have. And I have the potential to do it twice, which Rhea and I could headline the first night, April 1st at SoFi in LA. But for me, it wasn't a matter of how hard it was. I just didn't set limits for myself. I never had any, so So obviously this wasn't my dream. This dream just happened due to my little brother having this dream. So when I first started, I didn't have any expectations. I just worked hard. And that work ethic took me to the next level every time, to where when I said I was going to do something, I did it. And I didn't set a barrier for myself, or I didn't think, well, just because I'm a female in this industry and it hasn't been done before, that I couldn't do it. And that's kind of how I felt. And I know the girls that I came up with felt the same way.
Charlotte, how do you deal with the highs of the highs? And then also, how do you deal with the lows of the lows? Because this business is so like a roller coaster.
I feel like I've been on a high for 8 years. I feel like I've never slowed down. Obviously now I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I could go back and redo things, but again, it's all part of the learning process, and I wouldn't be here where I am today had I not had those learning moments within certain rivalries. So I can only just get better from here.
And WrestleMania will be coming up, such a huge event, WrestleMania Hollywood, every year. And it's been 2 nights now for a few years, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So many fans from around the world just packing the area. What is it like for you now at a WrestleMania? Charlotte, are you different in your preparation the day of compared to when maybe your first couple of WrestleManias, or has it been pretty consistent for you?
The nerves are still there. I think the only difference is I know how good I am now, and then I didn't. And that makes a big difference when you walk out on stage in front of those bright lights in front of 80,000 people. Because when I walk out there this year in LA, Hollywood, no star shines brighter than me. And I always want to prove that. And I'll prove that over both nights at SoFi.
Confidence level is so huge in your profession, in your business. But
yeah.
you starred in volleyball at a high level in college.
Yeah, but I wasn't as good. I was not as good at volleyball as I was at sports entertainment. Big difference. Like, I love volleyball, and playing all the sports that I did, whether it, be cheerleading, volleyball, gymnastics, basketball, diving, softball, the leadership and discipline and work ethic and team bonding allowed me to be where I am today. But where I have excelled the most is inside that ring, that squared circle. That's my Olympics. That's my gold medal.
When you're coming from volleyball, which is very athletic, and you're coming from those other sports, and you're now transitioning to professional wrestling, and by the way, college graduate as well?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, and you mentioned your brother, obviously, and being such an inspiration, and this was something he wanted to do and not necessarily you wanted to do. I was curious, what were your interests then if you didn't pursue the professional wrestling?
I didn't have any. That's what's crazy. Like, I mean, I loved volleyball, but I ended up quitting, which was one of those impulsive, young, immature, mistakes. But again, had I not taken the path that I did, I don't know if I'd be here today. I graduated with an interpersonal and public communications degree, which I guess I really did enjoy public relations at the time. But when I graduated, I moved back to Charlotte and was personal training in a private studio. And I was more of like a life coach motivator versus, I don't know if I would have hired me to it just levels to training. Right. So when I started, I really didn't know what the world had to offer. I wasn't, dreaming of big lights and being a star and all these different things. So I don't know what I would have turned into had, I not been sitting at dinner with my brother, my dad, and Johnny Laurinaitis in April of 2012 at the Four Horsemen Hall of Fame induction. Who knows? There would have maybe never been a Charlotte Flair.
And we would have missed so much because of what you've been able to accomplish. No, not only for yourself, but for women and for all men and women with professional wrestling. It's amazing how you never know how that one step will lead to another, or what, when you're traveling that road, that turn, what turn you're going to make.
Taking that chance, right?
You've taken that chance and you've really gone, oh my God, you've gone extreme with the whole thing. It's just amazing. But Charlotte, when do you think you realized that, hey, okay, I'm doing this, I'm training. Now I've been doing this for a little while. Was there a time where you were like, whoa, this is for me. This is something for me?
Oh yeah. When my brother passed away, the following week, just put it in a drawer, closed the drawer, and haven't stopped working since then. So yeah. Like, also too, I just had such a chip on my shoulder. I couldn't understand, like, being Ric Flair's kid is hard. And I knew how hard it was for my brother. So I think carrying that guilt with me, like not being there for him for that, and like taking all the criticism and the hate and the pressure that comes with being his kid, and like exceeding every expectation there possibly could be. I don't think I have it in me, but somehow I do. And here I am.
And Charlotte, I mean, obviously we see by just the accomplishments, you made a name for yourself. And
totally,
that's so important to do that. But like other second and or third generation in any profession, any sports entertainment profession,
you just don't get a clean slate.
You don't. You're starting off with this like target on you right away. So
it's a mixed blessing
part of it to deal with.
But there's a lot of positives too. So it's definitely I don't want to say it's so negative, but I do think it's definitely harder for generational kids, no matter what.
I think one of the things is it opens doors, but then you've got to do with it.
Yeah.
You've got to walk through that door. After that,
you've got to take the torch. You've got to do the hard work. Yeah.
So now
the name will only take you so far. The work ethic is what keep you there.
And that's exactly right. And that's one thing you've always had, was incredible work ethic in your training and just developing and all, and still wanting to be better. And I'm curious now, where do you see yourself now as far as your confidence is just always confident, very confident woman, very confident pro wrestler, sports entertainer. You're a champion. You're at the top of the top. Right now, where do you go from here? Is it just going out and just killing every show that you're on?
Just letting people see a softer side of me. I spent most of my career wanting people to boo me because that was my job. And the last couple of weeks, being able to finally interact with the kids and not feel like, now I feel the respect from them. So I don't have to like put on this layer of armor. So I hope, what's next is just being able to give them that side that I've always hidden of myself, that they can enjoy and we can share together while I'm on screen.
You're such a good heel, though.
Hey, if I need to, all I got to do is snap my fingers. So, that to me, though, because that's my comfort zone, I think this is a challenge for me. And this is the first time in my career that I have 100% committed to being a good guy, where before there's always been hesitation. And now I'm not approaching it. I'm just trying to be me. That's all. Just turned up a couple notches.
I was in Tampa the night you came back, won the WWE SmackDown Women's title, end the year. It was so cool. Such a fun moment. The crowd went nuts. What was it like for you that night?
I was like, oh my gosh, they're cheering. I didn't know. Like, I've won many titles. It's been hard to get people as excited for the last couple. So like when I won it and to see the reception, and I was just like, oh, I must have done something right all these years. It felt pretty amazing.
Now, WrestleMania Hollywood, April 1st and 2nd. It's SoFi Stadium. Unbelievable. Huge stadiums, by the way. WWE always, it's just incredible. 80,000, 90,000 plus fans, and just so many events during the week as well. A lot of community events. But I'm curious about the event itself. Rhea Ripley, no stranger to you at WrestleMania. You defeated her for the NXT Women's Championship, and now she's grown a little bit. What do you think of her now these days and how she's developed since you last wrestled her at that WrestleMania?
I think she's grown the last 3 years. I think I've grown the last 3 years. I think what makes Rhea and I so unique is when you see us facing each other, it's like two titans. We're both very aggressive, and not many women get the opportunity to face each other again at WrestleMania. And to know that, no one wants their first WrestleMania in front of a no audience. Like, it's the grandest stage of them all. So to be able to really show people what we're capable of in front of a sold out WrestleMania in Hollywood doesn't really get any bigger, So I feel like this was just destiny for the both of us.
Well, no Don Jardine alerts here, but do you have any surprises for Dom if he tries to stick his nose into this whole thing?
He better be careful. My husband is very protective. And a really good wrestler too. So he better be careful.
Oh my gosh. It's so much fun, especially this time of year. And you know what it's like to win the Royal Rumble. That's another one of your accomplishments. So many big events WWE has throughout the year too. What things do you like most about being a part of WWE?
So, number one, we're role models. We are inspiring the next generation, no matter what they decide to do in life. I hope they take, from each superstar what they want or what they like and incorporate that into their life. Number two, for me, I love performing. I love being in that ring. Like, there's nothing more than I love than entertaining our fans. So from being a role model to entertaining fans to 3, traveling the world, getting to see different cultures. Not many careers allow you, to be known worldwide and to be respected. That's how big WWE is. So it's like I get the best of everything. I get to be an athlete and I get to be an entertainer. And at heart, I'm an athlete.
You grew up an athlete and
Yes.
a very good athlete at that. And I always go back to the confidence level. It just seems like you're just exuding with that confidence and it helps so much. And you mentioned that. I'm curious though, too. We're talking about WWE and just how big it is. And it has opened the door to other types of entertainment for others. And I'm just curious if that's something that you want to be part of, whether you see like Sasha, so many others that have Dave Bautista that have gone and done movies, TV, Miz, just so many. Is that something of interest for you as well? Or is it just for you just to be the sports entertainer?
I definitely want to do things outside of the WWE. But it's a matter of when that will happen for me. So, like, very early on in my career, I did do the psych role for the movie. I've had the opportunity. I also did Punky Brewster. So I've had these opportunities. I would really love a bigger role and a bigger movie, but when that happens, it will happen. So I'm trying not to put so much pressure on, like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, because at the same time, I'm like, I want to be the very best superstar in WWE. And I know I want to be the best in whatever I do. So it's just when all these things come to me at the right time. And I know this sounds cliche, but it's just patience. I think what my transition looks like will be unique and special to Charlotte Flair.
Interesting you mentioned Psych, one of my all-time favorite TV shows. You mentioned Psych, the movie. James O'Day and Dule Hill are big WWE fans. I was just thinking now what it was like. Now it's just popped in my head. What it was like to work with them. And I think
they're awesome. They are huge fans.
Yeah, I think Dule Hill was on one of the WWE TV shows too. I think he came to one of your shows to be involved.
Yes. So they were great to work with. They're huge fans, and it was a fun small role within their movie that they had.
Well, Charlotte, it's so interesting because when you look at other sports and other entertainment vehicles, so many other entertainers and athletes are huge WWE fans.
Yep.
Did you know that going into this, or that was just something you learned as you went along and coming up?
I had no idea. But again, like I started in this industry because of my brother. So I didn't really think about who's a fan of what or who and anything like that. That wasn't something I really cared or thought about.
Well, another thing I wanted to discuss with you is just this unbelievable ring gear. And your father always had those elaborate robes, and you just come out as well. And I'm curious, is this something that you work with the designers and create and say, this is sort of how does that process work for you? Because some of them are just amazing.
We just have an idea and we work on it together. I just say, look the part, dress the part you want. And it's been, I think, an added element to my character that makes her feel larger than life. So I take it very serious.
Do you already have something planned for WrestleMania?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yes. Oh, man. All right, couple more questions. Let you out of here. I'm curious, Charlotte, because of the evolution of the revolution of women's wrestling and how it's grown so much. Charlotte, do you think we'll see a day where there might be something like an NWO, but a women's version trying to take over and doing something like that? Or I know right now you're singles, you're focused on singles and doing that, and you're the SmackDown Women's Champ. But I'm curious, is there a way to take this women's wrestling or the women part of it, of the wrestling, to another level?
Well, I think they're doing that with Rhea and Judgment Day right now, which is really cool to see. She's kind of like the leader of three guys, you know? And I like that diversity versus being all women. And you also have, oh my goodness, why am I drawing a blank? Bailey, Io, and Dakota. So that's another faction. So I think it's already happening. It's just not giving credit to where it's due.
And when you say just giving the credit to where it's due, and also just going from there, it's so important with the fans, because the fans have to connect to something to just make it go to another level. And I just, when you're looking at your fans, your WWE fans, what do you take away from them? And you know quickly whether something's working or not working.
Well, I have the most loyal fans of all time. So I don't know about anybody else, but my fans are not, what's the word?
Fickle?
No, they're not fickle. They're not fair weather fans. Like they are with me through thick and thin. And they have been since day one. So I'm very fortunate for my fans.
And how do you like Florida?
I love Florida. I'm like officially a Florida girl now. I do love Florida. I've been here now since 2012, July. So I love it. Never leaving.
Yes. Yes, she's ours. She's Florida.
Yeah. I'm a Florida girl.
Well, Charlotte, thank you so much for the time. Very much appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
do you have anything you want to close with about the International Women's Month, or anything else that you want to talk about, or anything that you might be involved in that's coming up or down the road, or something that you're involved in now other than WrestleMania, obviously?
No, I think I touched on International Women's Month in the beginning. So just looking forward to WrestleMania, pop culture extravaganza, 2 nights. Rhea Ripley and I will be the first women's match to ever have 2 WrestleMania spots. I think I hit it all in the interview.
You hit a grand slam like you always do, Charlotte Flair.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.